I drive up to her home and park in the front. I reach across to the passenger seat to take the box of chocolates that I had purchased from the best chocolatier in the city. And then, dressed smartly, I open the door and walk up towards her home. I knock on the door and ring the bell for safe measure. Not more than 5 seconds later, the door opens. It's a gentleman, probably about 45 years old. He says hello, in that I must be Gerald. And I said, "Yes, sir, I am. I'm here to see Maggie." He says, "Please come in." He walks me to his front room. As we sit in the chair together, he asks me a little bit about myself, what I'm studying, what my parents do, what part of the city do I live in, what are the plans for this evening's date. And I explain to him, and he cheerily smiles and says, "That's great." Maggie walks down the stairs as beautiful as ever. She almost misses the last step, which she catches, and we all have a giggle. She walks towards the foyer and stops before the front room, smiling at me. Then sheepishly grins at her father. I suppose she knows that he's been lightly interrogating me before our first date. She looks wonderful, and I stand up and I walk to her and I hand her her chocolates. She smiles and tells me that they are her favorite. I tell her that I'm glad and that I knew. We say goodbye to her father, and we walk down the stone path towards my car. As I hold the door open for her, her father stands in the doorway, smiling, probably thinking that I'm a gentleman. Maggie gets in the car, as do I. I start the engine, we both turn and wave to her father, smiling, as we drive off. Maggie and I had planned to see a film. It was a romantic comedy that Maggie had wanted to see for some time. It was going to be out of the cinemas soon, so we thought it was the perfect item for a first date. I've always smiled at Maggie in school. She's always picked up for me when bullies taunted me. So I've always had a fondness for Maggie. She was beautiful. Maggie really was stunning. I think I was really falling for her. We drove into the city. We passed the cinema. Maggie, of course, asks why. Are we not seeing a movie now? Do you have a surprise? And I explained that I did, I suppose. We drove through the city. We left the city limits. She thought that perhaps we were on our way to the drive-in cinema. What a treat that would be. And a classic first date. But then I suppose it dawned on her that the drive-in cinema was closed, which made Maggie's face wash of color. She seemed concerned now, as she continued to ask me where we were headed. I didn't answer, but only pulled over to the side of the road. I reached around behind her. She slightly giggled, thinking this was going to be the first kiss. But I only needed to reach for the 6-inch blade behind her